Can I just say though, and this is like a nuanced, I guess, perspective on it. This is why I feel like it's so important for, what we're trying to cultivate in terms of like cooperative or democratic, I don't know what to call it, culture, industry, whatever. Like why it's so important that something like that be embedded in, rather people who are trying to cultivate this kind of thing, embed it in efforts to create decommodified space materially. Because for most people, like one thing most people have in common is that they don't want to starve and that they want to live comfortably and that they don't want to have to worry about rent and they don't want to have to worry about whatever.
Just most people.
Yeah, and explicitly establishing that as a motivation in an effort to create or to whatever, and then having a clear, transparent process in which we can articulate how all of us achieve that together through whatever we're doing. It helps to cultivate a certain level of trust that, again, it's like it's embedded in something real that actually serves everyone and isn't just material. It is social as well. And it does make everyone feel like if I do great, it's going to impact other people positively and myself. It's impacting me positively and other people. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what separates fundamentally what we're talking about from like a traditionally capitalist startup or business and entertainment or otherwise.
Because that's where it stops short. Me.
Right.
It just stops
Hamster
there.
wheel.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone, we can all be in the same company or whatever, but we're all these in a capitalist context. You're an isolated being who is here to generate an output.
Right.
Whereas if you've opened up a space and it's like we're trying to create great things, distribute it in a better way where we actually have control and so on and so forth, and we have this North Star of all of us not having to worry about rent anymore or our food or whatever, and then you have like this democratic process on top of it in all of its iterations and shapes and forms and dimensions. Like now I feel like, we're talking about something. It's like we can be real. Like it opens up space for authenticity. Like we're not playing any of the social games that you have to in a capitalist firm of like, oh, we're not really all, we're a family here. We're not really all just here because we need fucking money. Oh, we're a family. It's like, no, it's like we can acknowledge that we don't want to fucking suffer and that we also want to do fulfilling things with our labor and with our time and our energy and our resources. And yeah, I feel like the rest of the conversation is just like the logistics and around how that comes about and where.
It's sad though, because like that instinct, that like scarcity logic and everything, it's like it's so deeply ingrained.
Oh yeah,
in so many people.
bro.
Oh yeah,
and like
even the hamster wheel instinct of I just
Right.
gotta be on my own though.
Bro,
Yeah.
like,
I
you know
just
what I keep thinking of is there's this sound that's been going around on Instagram that where people will just like post whatever their talent or their skill is, their art or whatever, and the sound is somebody just going, yo, my homie was like, how come you're not famous yet? Because you didn't share my shit.
Right.
Why didn't you share my shit? And it's just like it like irks me every time because I'm just like, it's so stuck in this logic of just like everybody in this bitch needs to come together and support me by myself.
Right.
I deserve to be famous because you can
Entitlement.
see that I have a middling at best level of ability in this art.
Yeah.
right.
I make a type of painting.
I make a type of painting that a lot of people don't do because it's not good. And everybody needs to rally.
Why didn't you
all
share
their
my
shit.
Juice WRLD album cover art variant?
It's like, it's just so, it's so upsetting every time somebody posts that. Cause I'm just like, yo, that makes me not give a fuck about whatever you do. Cause like, I know so many other people that have been struggling just as hard, if not harder than you to make better shit. So like we can get into a contest where we're going back and forth and telling each other your art sucks, no, your art sucks, and like you should support mine, or we could just like link up and actually build some shit to.
We should get to what Tim Rogers calls the bottom line. And the bottom line is that if we don't, the solution to get out of this shit is through cooperation, is through collective action. That's the only way anything's going to fucking change.
Yeah, not
That's
waiting.
Yeah.
Not waiting.
Yeah.
Not, hey, how you doing over there? Good. I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, like you're on separate arcade machines playing different games. No, you're all in the same game.
Yeah.
Right.
We got to hack this shit together.
I've finally been I've been getting into, I swear this is relevant, been getting into people's history of the United States finally. I've read little pieces of it, but just thinking about how intentional so much of the building of this country was, particularly in the sense that to exactly that point, people are just, the creation of this country was so broad, and this was when it was just 13 colonies, and now it's 50 plus a bunch of territories that people don't talk about because they don't want to contend with America's existence as an empire. But the fact that it was founded explicitly with the intent that like insurrectionary or revolutionary movements could not spread because they couldn't gain broad support across this much space, you know.
Wow.
And now that's just like translated entirely
crazy.
onto the digital space, you know. It's just crazy to think about things like that, and that they were, honestly, that was y'all snapped with that shit, bro. That was crazy. Y'all really, that shit is really going until this day,
dude.
People don't think that shit like this can work, you know.
I had this realization. We were recording Woken Book the other day, and I introduced Max and Tony as my best friends from the great gateway to the West, St. Louis, Missouri, because that's what it's called. And then I realized, as I was saying, I'm like, that's racist, actually. I was like, this shit's about manifest destiny. That's why it's called that shit. It's called Gateway to the West. But it's like, they needed the whole fucking West to get everyone spread out and then federalized.
Yeah. Oh.
To a central banking system.
Right.